Look, the Coachmen don't have any wheels on the back. They're off. I'm finally doing the back brakes now. Got the front ones out of the way. And take care of the back ones. And I really discovered something that I had no idea what was going on. This was supposed to be the side that really didn't need much. I wanted to get it apart and put new brake shoes on it. It turns out there's a little bit more was wrong than I just caught me by surprise. I'm like, wow, look at that mess in there. Let's see if we can do this. Get rid of that glare somehow. Let's see if we can see this. See all the oil? How, I mean, these things are just caked in. There we go. Just all caked with oil. Brakes don't work very good when they're oily. That is for sure. Heck, wet brakes can, just water alone can diminish braking effectiveness. Oil? Wow, that I did not expect that. And you know what? The reason is when I looked at the inside of the other wheel. Again, I apologize for the glare. I mean, I knew I was slowly losing brake fluid. I'd have to top it off once in a while in the master cylinder up front. And so I'm like, well, I have a brake fluid leak somewhere. So I looked at the back side of each wheel, and I could see that one on the other side was wet a little bit. So I knew I had an issue going on over there. That was not evident on this side. And I mean, maybe there was a little bit of evidence, but usually that leaks out and you'll see it spray like on the back side of the inner wheel. And it's really not, I mean, I guess there is, maybe I should look a little bit closer. But it's, there's some signs of it. I should look closer. So here's this gigantic brake drum. Okay, and this is the type to where, you know, it's more involved. I had to pull the back axle out to get the drum off. It's that type of rear end. I think it's a Dana 70. I don't know. Doesn't much matter. It needs some attention. Look at the oil in here. I mean, there was not. I mean, this all. Look. I mean, what a mess. All right, so it needs new axle seals. Yeah, I already got this one apart, getting some parts cleaned up here. The little retaining clip and keyway, and the spanner nut, the wheel bearing, and then the seal goes behind that. And this seal, now I've cleaned it up to get a part number off of it, and I searched it that way, but I ended up getting got a couple new ones already. But this is, you know what? This was in this way, and something didn't look right to me. I've done some seals on front seals on brake rotors, and to me this face goes out. Not the other way around. This face was out, and what tells me that too is there's a bevel on this side to get it started, so it goes in this way. Well, it was this way. So whoever worked on this at one time put the seal in backwards to begin with, and it has some kinks on it, and there's some areas here where I don't think they had an easy time getting it in either. Well, because you started the side that doesn't have the bevel on it. So anyway, it's all kind of banged up. Anyway, I got new seals. There you go. Let me see. Let me move a couple things here. Where's the new? Oops, hang on. Gonna have a little bit more sun glare here. Let's see. I've got a couple. Since I knew we're dealing with all this extra grease, I had to got some more brake clean. Everything really needs degreased really bad. 3 cans on a. Actually, I thought I needed a second can. I got a third one just to put on a shelf to have it here at the garage. It comes in handy from time to time. So we've got precision bearings and seals. Couldn't find anything. I haven't had much luck at AutoZone lately, as some of you know, some recent videos. And I didn't on the website either. So I switched over to O'Reilly's, and they had them in stock. So I went down and got them. Now, okay, now, see, this has the bevel. I don't know if you can see that a little bit right there. Right there. I think you can see that. At the very beginning of that red diameter. There's a little bit of a bevel, and then the diameter, and there's no bevel on this side. See that? So they go in this way. And this one was in upside down. That was upside down. So, improper installation on that. No wonder it failed prematurely. So, that's all I'll say. I have no idea. I don't have records, any records of when this, the brakes were, the rear end was ever worked on before. I do have receipts and stuff from the previous owner when the front end was all done. I mean, just before I bought it. So that's how I kind of know some history up there. Anyway, so with a new seal, I'm going to correct this problem, but I got to clean all that out like really, really good. Can't be oily. And with the new seal in there, it should stay clean. All right. So I'm going to do that. Even though I have the brake clean, I'm going to get the, I'm going to try to get the majority of it kind of broken and loosened up with some gasoline and a brush. And we'll get it started there, and then I'll finish it up. I'll give it a good flushing, and we'll hit it some more with some brake clean to finish it up. And what else we got going on in here? And and I originally bought, because of the other side. Oh, by the way, I got 2 seals, so a new seal on each side. And back to what I thought was just the original problem. The main problem was I was losing brake fluid. So, and I'm certain the other side, these are sealed. I was certain the other side was needed a new wheel cylinder. So same thing, I'm gonna not just fix one side, I'll put a new one on each one. So we'll have 2 new wheel cylinders, 2 new axle seals, and these brakes, oh sorry Bella, was you gonna jump in there and start cleaning that mess up? Huh? Yeah, so these brakes are, I mean, they look thick. I mean, like there's a lot of life. Well, not so much the front one. Oh yeah, look at the stuff. Look how bad this is. Watch. Like, man, that is ridiculous. On a good note, they're probably still at half-life, I bet. No wonder they didn't wear out though, because they've been lubricated. They're not supposed to be lubricated, and the inside of the drum looks real nice too. There's no ridges or weird wear in there. Again, it's no wonder, because they're lubricated and they're not supposed to be. Anyway, those are like still thick enough that you'd think, oh, maybe just clean those up too and reuse them. But no, this material, it absorbs. You can kind of clean them up and make them better, but it's really kind of like a sponge in a way. The material itself has absorbed a lot of oil. You never get that back out of there. Anyway, I gotta get this all these springs off of here, and these these retainers off of here. Get this mess off of here. Get this all cleaned up. It's a mess here. Yeah, so this brake drum, I'm gonna pour some gas in it, and just gonna start loosening this stuff all up. I'll do so much of it and rotate it, then I can dump it out. I'm not just gonna waste. If I use the brake clean only, I could probably take 6 or 8 cans. So, let's get this all here loosened up. Wow. Alright, I already started by cleaning this side here out and flushed everything out real good. The bearing's all clean and blown out with compressed air and brake cleaner. The other bearing is looks good. It's all cleaned out. I got most of that cleaned out already with the gas or whatever. I had to flip it over and maybe give it a final cleaning and get this bearing in it and the new seal. And that part of it should be ready, and then I need to get on with that. How's that looking? A little less oily, And this surface actually is really nice for the, I mean, it's like no, it's like, I don't know. I'm happy with it. It's like a brand new surface. Okay, that's all oil free. Gotta get the bearing in it. I already have it all flushed out pretty good. I'm gonna just blow it out one more time. I'd say that's all contaminant free. Spins nice, looks good. There's no, doesn't look like it's ever run hot and got all discolored or any kind of pitting or anything weird. All the rollers look nice in that. Just gonna lay that right in the bearing race, right where it goes. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to find something. It would be good to tap this in. I don't know what yet. That should work good. Covers it nice. Center it all up. That's it. All right, that's it. It's nice and flush. Nice and even the whole way around. Went in nice and straight. Alright, I think that's all ready. We can set that aside. I gotta get it out of the way. That'd be right there. I gotta get that thing all ripped apart. I thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and cover that up since it's all clean and ready to go. Don't want stuff falling into it. I got this mess apart. This got the heavy stuff off of it anyway. Just with a combination of some brake clean and actually I have a can of some degreaser as well. Kind of soaked it down with that a little bit, and then I got my can of gasoline and brushed that all over this plate and trying to get any stuff, any excess oil off of it. And I need some PB Blaster because there's that brake line on the back side of this wheel cylinder. Hopefully that brake line is it doesn't look too bad. I hope I don't have to replace the brake lines on it. They still look pretty fair. But that's usually can be the problem areas, right on the back of that wheel cylinder. If it's gonna break, usually that's where it happens at. So hopefully I can get it broke loose. Well, this got a little bit tricky. I did manage to get my fingers down in there in a little tiny wrench, and I did get the brake line broke loose. But the two bolts that hold the wheel cylinder on from the back of that are not playing nice at all. There's hardly any room back there because it's just so close to this big leaf spring, not like most vehicles. So I mean, it's just, so the option is, I guess I'll take these 4 bolts out and just take the back end plate back away far enough that I can get to it. What a pain in the butt. A pain in the butt. Alright. Sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better. I did have to remove the backing plate completely. It's okay. Get all this cleaned up here. And there's the brake line. It survived intact. It'll be okay. So that was the only saving. That was a plus. Everything else kind of went south on me. Yeah, I guess I skipped. You got my brake parts here in the pan. Got to clean all these up, all the springs and levers and all the stuff. There's some brake pads, how oily and gross they were. There's a piece I have to get off of that back lever, and that goes onto the new one. But the backing plate over there, let's go over there a minute. All right, so here's the backing plate. This is the back side of it. Let me turn this around. I guess I don't need the light out here. So this is the side that all the hardware goes on that I was cleaning up, and so that wheel cylinder was right there, and it goes right through that hole. And what happened was the 2 bolts on it were they would not cut loose. They would not break loose. They were just rusted, and I had to grind the heads off. Well, not grind, I had to cut them off. Actually, I have it upside down. The brake hose goes up there, and the bleeder. Or did I have that right? Whatever. Okay. No, yeah, the bolts were higher than the. So I had to grind. Or I say grind again. It actually cuts it. It's faster than grinding. This carbide burr thing. I know I could have probably gone other ways about getting that out, but that's the way I chose. Ground the heads off of it, then the thing popped out. But it's junk anyway. So I really, now I gotta spend some time and I'm gonna really clean this thing up good. It is now all apart. So we've reached that point. Now it's a matter of just cleaning things up and get that one lever on the new brake shoes, get the springs, everything all cleaned up, and start putting this in that spindle thing. Now there's a bunch of cleanup work involved, and this will start looking better soon. I think I have enough filth going on here that I'm gonna need more gasoline. So we're just gonna put it here and get my hose. That's the old hose that went to the old generator, and turn the ball valves on and turn the switch on. And I'm gonna fill this up about, I don't know, a third of the way. Get a good bit of gas going here because I'm gonna get all these parts cleaned up first, and some of my tools. That's actually a red and clear Craftsman handle, screwdriver. Get all my tools cleaned up, and then I'm gonna put that backing plate. Hopefully it fits. I like to put that backing plate kind of submerged in here. A good place to really clean it well. What a dirty mess. Let me get some more in there and get to work cleaning. I think it's intermission time. That's it. All right, we got our parts all cleaned up, and fortunately everything's in pretty good shape. Definitely oily and stuff, but nothing's really rusted or rotted away. Even the adjuster is operates just, you know, nice and smooth and freely. So, and that's important. I'm glad that wasn't froze up. Sometimes they do. I don't think I have to replace anything really. Anything else, that is. So that's done. That's done. I've cleaned that up. That's finished. What else here? Oh yeah, the old nasty pads or shoes. So got this. No more oily. Yeah, it's rusty, but it's still solid. All oil free now. So that is ready for. Now I will have to get two little stubby ¼ 20 bolts for this. Those go like the old one. I had to grind them off. Where's my camera? Where's my pan? For those two holes there. So that will simply go. There it is. I'd probably have them too. If not, I'll just run to Tractor Supply in the morning and grab those. Get that bolted on, and then bolt the backing plate back on, and screw the brake line back onto it, and start putting stuff back on it. Oops, I'll be back around this way. Sorry, no. Do I have this backwards? Do I have this backwards? I did. Hang on. I kind of had that backwards. So this goes this way on this side. All right. Now I'll put those little those little pusher rods in there, and put the new shoes on, and all the springs and all the levers and everything, and we'll get that all back together. Yeah, the hard part's done now. That's for sure. And those shoes were, you know, pretty worn. These are nice and thick. Yeah, we'll get them on. I decided to go a step further, and I put the backing plate in there. Once I got the oil and grease off of it, put it in my blast cabinet here. It's like a little sandblaster. So it's I blasted some of the loosest rust off of it anyway. I'm not going to go too crazy on it, but you know, I got the loose, but you know, most of it off, and some of the loose paint. So we're gonna get that out of there and give it a coat of paint and see what the what the heck, why not? How about that? That looks a little better, doesn't it? Some paint on it. Let's get it in the garage and start getting this together. I did just get back from the hardware store and got some new bolts and lock washers for get the wheel cylinder on here. Okay, that is installed, and of course I got two for the other side when I get to it. And there it is. That's the beginning. It is going back together. How's that looking? That looks so much better on here, right? All right, I'm just getting started putting the front shoe in place, but that almost looks like it doesn't belong. Something that nice on here, right? Considering what it looked like before, that's an improvement. So I put the little push rods in this wheel cylinder. They push out on the brake, pushes the brake shoe out when you apply the brakes. So I need to go ahead and get this other one on and start getting some springs and stuff on here. But I just thought I'd pause and admire that, how much better that looks. Well, I hope that's right. I did take pictures before I tore it all apart, just to be sure I got the right springs in the right location and on the right way. They're not this way or hooked. They just, so nothing's goofed up. Everything looks, the adjuster's all back in with that proper spring, and everything I think is okay. So I guess I'm down to where I need to put the drum on it. That thing's a heavy beast. I'll have to be careful lifting it up on here and get it on here because I don't want to damage that new seal banging it around, because that's the side that goes on first. I went ahead and popped out this little, there's windows, what we'll call an access window here. There's a protective cover to keep dust or water out and well, whatever. I went and popped that out because once I get that hub on there, this will line up with this adjuster. You notice that has notches on it. So what I'll have to do is, once I initially put the hub back on it, I will have to put the screwdriver. Now I have the proper tool, a brake spoon for doing this. I'm gonna look for it again. I haven't used it in a lot of years. I think it's gotten misplaced, but a screwdriver will do. But this will get, I'll have to reach in there and a couple clicks at a time, whatever I can do to get it to where the brakes that expands them out, and until it's just right, till they just drag a little bit maybe. So anyway, I'll have to go through that procedure, and then also bleed the brakes. This has got air in it. I'll have to use a little bleeder on the back there, and wait till my buddy's here so he can work the brake pedal and bleed the air out of the system. And now that's about where we're at anyway, but I can go ahead and get this on and together. I'm just gonna say that was tricky. You might wonder what this is all about, but with the right amount of blocks or whatever, I was able to get the drum up about the right level and got it on. Didn't touch that seal at all, so that went on well. I have the spanner nut back in, and I adjusted it up to where it needs to be, about tight, till the keyway lines up, and you back it off just a tiny till it matches up the next keyway. So anyway, you might notice these bearings have been dry to this point. So what happens is, how these works is oil from as soon as the thing's rolling, that big gear, the differential is in there churning up, the gear oil is splashing around. It runs out these tubes. It doesn't flood, but I mean, I don't know. But then it goes out here and falls down, and then it kind of goes back in and lubricates the outer bearing, and then it goes through to, and then lubricates the inner bearing, and then it stops because that new seal is back there. So there's this little compartment in here, the bearing area, that gets the lubrication. So that's why when this axle goes back in, gets bolted on, there's a gasket here. So yeah, so oil's not running out here on the ground, and it's not going past the seal running out there in the ground. So it kind of gets splash fed, I guess, runs out this tube and down in there. So what I did for now was just put duct tape on here to act as a dam, and then filled this up till it was almost overflowing, and it is seeped down, and it took a bunch of it. So, you know, takes a little bit. It's pretty thick stuff. It seeped through that bearing and on that area in there, and then back to the back bearing. So I'm going to go ahead and give those a little bit of lubrication. I mean, it's probably been okay. I mean, it doesn't take long. As soon as I backed it up a little bit, that big gear in there churns that oil pretty quick. It probably would have ran out. These would have got lubrication pretty quickly. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, I'm glad I had some of this on hand. And then when the job's all done, once I get the other side done too, I will have to check the level and the differential, see where it's at, and add as necessary. Actually, I think I know somebody that needs to check theirs and probably hasn't. If you're watching this, you know who you are. So, and I gave it a second drink. I was gonna take a break, and I thought, let me fill it up again. And it's not going down there as fast. Tell you what, I'm about ready to sit down for a little bit and take a break. All this climbing up and down and tools and parts and go to the next step. I do have did bleed the brake. It adjusted it. The adjustment on the bottom. Yeah, it's a screw thing that screws in and out. It spreads as you tighten it. So that's how that, it's threaded. So as you notch out, I don't know if I said that earlier. So they're adjusted, so there's just a little bit of drag on them. I can say the air is bled out of the line. The axle's back in it, and as they're all torqued down, I guess I'm ready to put the wheel back on it, or wheels. But I had to stop and remember, I need to not get ahead of myself. I need to take the tire pressure monitoring sensor off of there. I wanted to add about 5 pounds or so, 5 to 10. I forget where they're at now, in the low 60s. I want to add them, get them up to 70 or a little bit more 70-ish. So I'm going to take a minute and do that. Give her a little squirts of air. Check it, and put that sensor back on it and get these things on. What do we got there? Looks like about 70, maybe 72. 70 to 72. That's what we'll aim for in all of them. That'll work. I think we're going to skip this side because it's just more of just the same. So we're probably just going to move on and wrap this video up. It's, the new wheel cylinders. The project started with, I did notice wetness on the inside of this wheel, and I was slowly losing brake fluid. That's where this all started at. I would have to add brake fluid to the one chamber that goes to the rear wheels. So I knew I had a leak back here somewhere, and I thought it was this wheel cylinder. But based on the amount of fluids leaking, this is pretty much exactly the same as the other one. It's not quite as oily, but it's wet. It's oil. It is oily. See, it's oily too. So obviously it needed new axle seals. That's not all brake fluid. I know that. But it's where it started. So I thought it was this side, but maybe the other side was leaking both. Axle lubrication and brake fluid both. So new wheel cylinder and axle seal, both sides. Hopefully that should do it. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna skip this. It's just the same thing, only the opposite side. Do the tire thing, and we'll get this side done. I do have this side all back together. Okay, there it is, all back together and on the ground again. Anyway, now with the front brake's done and the back brake's all, and the fluid leakage is taken care of, I'm just glad to have get this all done, and this will be so much better now. Guess that's all I got. I'll get this all finished up, and we'll get this thing on the road. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you again soon.